Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Radio Apocalypse, the human condition. I'm feeling good. Hope you are too.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening. How are yous all? I hope you're good. I've taken my mic cover off this tonight because I'm trying to hide the mic a little. Oh, don't go loose on me. Hi, welcome to Into the Night, and it is the human condition tonight, and we are talking about all the good things about people. 3 specific traits tonight, 3 amazingly beautiful things about human beings. There's so much negativity and scary stuff that goes on in the world that I thought, to continue part of the human condition, we've talked about toxic people, we talked about the financial gurus that like to steal your money, we've talked last week about cult behaviours. I thought that part of this ongoing process is we can talk about the things that are scary, but it's also important to look at the good things. And the good things that we're going to look at tonight are compassion, humility, and empathy. So we might run over a little bit because when I look at my notes, I actually have 27 pages of notes that I've been looking at. You don't need to crawl past, Rune, just walk past, please. Okay?
You're streaming.
Yes, I am streaming, sweetheart. Off you go. Good boy. So yeah, those 3 things are amazing. Now, there is something I need you guys to do, and it's quite important. It's part of the whole thing. All right. If you go to my link tree, now let me just get this straight. I think it's. I need to quickly hold on. I need to have a look and see what it is on Instagram so we can check it out. Yeah. It's Linktree, which is linktr.ee/Mojax happy. In that link tree, there is a questionnaire. Okay, it is called the Empathy Quotient Test. It will take about 5 to 10 minutes to do, and I thought that anybody that's watching could do this as we go through it. And when it comes to actually, don't tell anybody your score, and if you're prepared to tell people your score, okay, when we come to the point in the show where we can actually talk about the scores, let's talk about it then. Don't tell anybody beforehand. So Linktree, if you remember, it's linktr.ee/Mojax happy. It's the very top one. It's called the Empathy Quotient Test. Let me just check. Yep, it will take you to it. It's interactive. You fill out everything that is there, push scores at the bottom, and it will give you your score out of 80. Okay, important for today, important for tonight. So hi Nyla, hi Alexa, and hi Elaine. Good to have you all here tonight. I hope that you're all faring well, and that you're good. We've got the red background on tonight because I wanted to feel warm and cozy with you all tonight instead of the cold, cool blue. And we also have a little bit of oh come on, wake up phone. A couple of little voicey things as well. So we have this chap, I think it's this one, hold on.
I'm feeling good now.
I hope that you could hear that. Let me just check that sound's coming through okay. Stream Deck, yes.
I'm feeling good now.
I'm feeling good now, yes. Good. Right, so we're all feeling good, so let us get started. I don't know whether, I think we'll have a little bit of, it's going to be a long night, so I'm going to have a little bit of background music going on. Not too loud, just a little bit shamanistic sort of music going on to get you in the mood for thinking about all the good things about humanity. And I will be taking sips of my coffee from time to time, because I'm going to get a dry mouth. Okay, we will stop from time to time so I can jump back as well and have a look at the chat. In fact, we could probably have that up there, because I'm not going to be changing cameras tonight. Yeah, good, right, okay. Positive human behaviours, alright, positive human behaviours. We always hear about the terrible things that we do to each other, but there's actually a lot of good in the world, an awful lot of good in the world, and you will be surprised at inside you all the time. Compassion, humility, and empathy. It is the triangle, the holy trinity of positive behaviours, because everything stems from that, those three beautiful things. Like everything negative stems when you take toxic behaviours and boil them down. It's always about the narcissist, it's always about themselves, okay? However, positive things, there's so much more of them, because we can do so much more with feeling good and doing the right things. And it's not even about being overtly, crazily positive and going, hey, positivity this and positivity that. It's about just taking the time to be still and thinking about it. So we're going to start with compassion, and what we'll do with each section is we'll talk about it, we'll talk about the definition, then we will go into the sort of traits and behaviours and stuff like that, and we'll discuss them. And if at any point, I've got the chat window to my left, I am 40 seconds ahead of you guys when I'm doing stuff, alright? So if you have a question, alright, do about 4 or 5 question marks so it catches my eye, and I'll come back to it. Okay, good. Compassion, right, is something that motivates people to go out of their way to help the physical, mental, or emotional pains of another and themselves as well. It's often regarded as having sensitivity and an emotional aspect to the suffering of others, not just human beings, but it could be the rainforest, it could be animals. And we're actually the only species, maybe elephants, okay, but we are the only conscious species that does this. It's kind of like that sensitivity and an emotional sort of connection aspect to suffering, though when based on like your cerebral sort of things that are going on, it's also things like justice, okay, and interdependence between human beings, a compassion for your neighbour. You know, it may be considered a kind of a rational trait in nature, and its application is understood as an activity also based around a sound mind, a good sense of judgment, and the ability to make good decisions. This is really important because compassion is not just you think that you might be super emotional when you're being compassionate, and you kind of are, but it's kind of a rational emotional thing that goes on. It can give you a depth of your personality to have a compassion, have that feeling for other people. It's kind of something that is super important, super duper important to understand, because you do have a connection when you have that, and it's kind of interrelated with overlapping circles with empathy as well. And when we come to empathy, you'll see that empathy kind of encompasses the whole lot of everything. Compassion involves allowing ourselves to be moved by suffering and experiencing the motivation to help alleviate and prevent suffering. This is straight out of Wikipedia. This is now like quotes from people, learned people. An act of compassion is defined by its helpfulness. Qualities of compassion are patience and wisdom, kindness and perseverance, warmth, resolve, and I would also say love. Absolutely love. I like that. Compassion is love. The key component in what manifests in social context is known as altruism as well with this. It's an expression of compassion, is prone to be hierarchical, you know what I mean. It can also be paternalistic, and you can have controlling responses as well with this. So understand that compassion can guide you to a path where you want to crusade, you want to make things better, you want to control the outcome. So you have to be aware of that as well. We've got a foundation to work upon with compassion. So we're going to go through a whole bunch of traits now that's important that you understand. And I want you to think about this. How many of these sort of things do you have? All right, do you have with regards to it, with it all, you know? Thank you, Nyla, for putting up some cool links there. If you've just joined us as well, all right, if you're just coming in, Linktree, go to Linktree, which is linktr.ee/Mojax happy. The first link in my Linktree, okay, is the it's kind of it's a questionnaire. It's not made by me. It's actually a proper psychological one to display the amount of empathy. I don't want to know your scores until we get to the point in the show where we can discuss the scores, okay? Because it's quite interesting, and you can be doing that in the background while you're watching or listening to the stream just now, and I'll talk about it again when we go through it. It'll take you 5 to 10 minutes to do it. It's not a problem to do it. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Good, yes, thank you for that, Nyla. Right. Compassionate people are forever putting the other people's needs above theirs. They might not intentionally do this, and compassionate people are the ones that kind of worry about other people and the people that they love more than themselves. When someone tells a compassionate person about a problem or a struggle, they always want to take the burden from them. They always want to help them, to try and guide them to a better outcome. They also like to listen first and speak second. It's almost a pragmatistic sort of trait to be compassionate. Many people don't understand the quality and necessity to be able to actively listen. It's something that I, as a corporate school teacher in a former career, I actually wrote a training module to teach adults how to listen. You get taught to read, to write, and to figure stuff out at school and university. Very rarely are you taught how to listen. So if you have a natural ability to shut up and listen to your fellow man, you have a gift. If you want to learn how to listen, I will do a special show specifically in teaching people how to listen and how to actively listen. It's a 15-minute module that teaches you how to do it, and it's a piece of cake, and then you just have to do it, which is really good. Going back to our compassionate traits, they seem to volunteer for the least favourable task if it's going to help people. They take the second cab home sort of people. You know, they'll allow people to do things ahead of themselves. They put other people first in that sense. They approach other people's problems as if they're their own, and as we said before, they make very great listeners. They're particularly gifted and also cursed at helping people with other people's problems. Some people see compassion as being kind of busybody-ish sometimes, okay, and it can come across as somebody being overtly inserting themselves into your life to try and help you when maybe you don't want that help. Okay, perhaps then if you are that sort of person, take a step back, see if the person wants help. Try and resolve it. Any problems, if you want to resolve things from a distance. Don't insert yourself in. Some people just don't want the help. Okay. They never leave your side and they always have your back. I'm quite spiritual man, and I consider myself to be reasonably compassionate, especially about my immediate family, and I can't help that, and it's something that I firmly believe in. Having their back, it's a difficult thing sometimes, when people do silly things, just friends as well, but you have to have their backs. It's important. Compassionate people as well have a tendency to be quite focused on thinking straight. They're problem solvers. They think with their brain and not their emotions as much. You may think that that's not the case, because they are quite emotional people. But when it comes to problem solving, they ask the questions that people tend not to want to ask. That devil's advocate thing. Have you done this? Will you do this? Have you thought about this? And sometimes it can be quite painful to be asked those questions, but it's done in a compassionate and honest nature. It's not done in a way to turn round and upset you in a way. A good friend can play devil's advocate quite happily, and if they are a good friend, you'll understand that they mean no harm when they do it. Compassionate people also attract a lot of love to themselves, because what you put out into the universe, you tend to get back. So if you're putting like a lot of good feelings out there, a lot of love for your fellow man, you have a tendency to bring that back into yourself. And I think that's important. If you're feeling good, you're going to put out more again, and the way that it goes, there's so much suffering and so much nonsense going on, so many people being hurt, between monsters that live in the dark web to crazy people that just don't care about social distancing while we go through this crisis, and then like thieves and shoplifters, people just every little thing, I think we've all come across the terrible things of our planet, and I think that it's important maybe once or twice a day just to put out a bit of love, whether it's just thinking good or not. Okay, whether it's, when I say not, I mean thinking good if you're on your own, or not, but acting good towards somebody else. It's kind of, it's just my way of doing things. My brother said to me I have a superhero's level of empathy, and always look for the good in things. It's true, and when we come on to empathy, I'm going to explain my personal experiences with empathy. But I think that it's kind of important that when you're talking about these sort of things, that you have an honest and level playing field, and I will be honest with you as we go through this. Compassionate people also like to forgive very easily as well, because they see there's no point in holding a grudge, especially with people that they like and care about, and even people that they just briskly and briefly rub shoulders with. Okay, it's going to be a case of like, what's the point in holding a grudge? What's the point in really being angry with somebody? It provides the wrong sort of energy, to be perfectly honest. They don't enjoy confrontation or conflict, but they will not run from it. They can be a brick wall. They will come up if somebody who is not so much enjoys conflict, but maybe is aggressive or has a tendency to be I can't think of a word for it, not so much problematic, but have a tendency to like confrontation, or they're more confrontational. All right, a compassionate person is not afraid of that. okay, and from my personal experience is that I'm not afraid of it at all. Okay, I'm not saying I'm a super compassionate person, but I tend to be not I don't like conflict, but I remain calm with it. There's no point people screaming and shouting at you. Why? It's not necessary. Really not necessary. We're all grown-ups here. The person shouting at you is not your mum, is not your dad. You are not a child. You're an adult that needs to understand that you have a level of your own personal authority to stop people from doing that. So don't be afraid of people being verbally aggressive to you. It's not necessary. They also have a sort of a level of where they find common ground very quickly, and have things in common with people quite frequently, like whether it be a like for food, a like for a certain reading of books, movies, anything like that. They have that sort of like that common ground, which is amazing. These are all compassionate traits for anybody that's just come in just now as well. We're talking about compassion, empathy, and what's the other one we're talking about tonight? Yeah, there is. Hold on, let me just go right back to the top of the page. It is humility. Humility. I like humility. Humility is a good one. Where did we get to? Find something. Comment. Yeah, there we go. They value people and experiences over money. I'm qualified to go out and get a really, really good, decent job if I really wanted to, but my quality of life is more important with my children, my wife, my tiny little house, and you guys. All right. If I was out working Monday to Friday 9 to 5, I probably wouldn't see my children as much. I wouldn't be able to be a positive influence on them. So I think that life is too short to pursue a crazy ass career. The good thing about money is it provides experiences, and that's what life is about. So you see, it makes the experiences in my life are more joyous because we have to plan them and make them happen that way. So when it comes down to valuing experiences over money, I totally get that, and it's something that is kind of really important to me with everything. They are mindful of everything in their life. Mindful, grateful, honest, and they try their best to do things. I try very much. I'm trying to relate a lot of this to my own experiences, because I can't be an expert in what you guys experience, and I'm not an expert in what my notes are, but I am an expert in what I've experienced. So when people say they're mindful, okay, it's like they don't waste time with destructive people, places, or situations. They're mindful of their own sense of being. Okay, but I'm kind of mindful as well of what I teach my children. I mean, we have like a routine after dinner where I've got like 3 kids that are capable of helping with housework. So we do this thing called resetting the house for the next day. So the dishes are done, the table's wiped, the floors are all hoovered around the house. We're mindful of everybody else in this house who lives here together as a team. My wife takes care of the baby, and the rest of us will take care of the house. So every day the house is hoovered, because we have to be aware that we can't have choking hazards lying around for the little boy to go and pick up, stuff like that. And these are values which the kids have grown up with themselves as well as a result of what I do with them. They fully understand that people have differences in opinion. Okay, now I wonder if he's in. Let me just see. Yes, you are in. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Robert Scrimminger. He's a good man. I work with Robert, and he knows where my political beliefs lie. Okay, and he also knows that I'm, as much as I disagree with certain things that mutual friends and friends of his have said, it's their opinions. I don't really care. Okay, it's like going back to what I've talked about before. All right, your life choices, your political choices, anything like that, I couldn't give a hoot about. I couldn't care less about them unless you're hurting somebody, hurting an animal, or taking advantage of somebody, or doing something without consent. That is the most important thing. If you're hitting out and doing something without consent, then that's where I have a problem. But if you are, my life choices are a traditional family home. I'm married to a beautiful woman. Okay, do I give a shit about homosexuality or trans people? No, I don't. They're just people to me. Alright, could not care less. Do I care about a Chinese man working in this country, a black man working in this country? Couldn't give a shit about the colour of skin. Alright, however, I do have an issue with racism. I do have an issue with bigotry, and I do have a big issue with religious persecution, because that's wrong. People have a right to be able to make these life choices without fear, and compassionate people understand that greatly. Good evening, Robert. How are you? Okay, what's he saying there? Hoovering keeps the carpet bugs away as well. Most of the time, I've got laminate floors, mate, so I've got to wash them, hoover them, sweep them, everything. They believe that knowledge is wasted if it's not shared. I like, that's going back again, I'm relating it to myself. I like to teach my children things, okay? Whether it be from learning how to brush their teeth to now teaching them to cook more, to teaching them to look after the house. These life skills are priceless. I think as well that most compassionate people have good manners. Most of the time, they understand that it's important to be nice, and it's I'm a bit of an old-fashioned gentleman. I will hold the door open for a lady, and I have got myself into trouble many a time with homosexual lady friends of mine that want to be treated equally, and I'm like, well, I'll hold the door open for men as well. It's like no, and that's just a fun thing. It's like I'll turn around and insult them afterwards, but they know that I don't mean it. It's just a bit of fun. But manners is a very important thing with compassionate people. They bring out the best in others pretty much all the time. I don't know whether I bring out the best in others. I strive to make people feel good about themselves. So if that's bringing out the best in others, I think that that might be an important thing, a very important thing. They are serial parent pleasers. This is one of the things which I took note of. Bring them home to mom and pop, and they will be amazed at how well it goes. Apparently compassionate people are parents' favourites. They are extremely in touch with their own emotions as well, and they do what they love and don't care who thinks badly of them for it. I have found a new love in broadcasting on the internet, okay? And I'm not going to change who I am for anybody as a result of doing this. I find interesting things to talk about. I have interesting people that come and talk about stuff on the show with me. I do shows in the morning on my own, a couple of shows a week on the evening on my own. A lot of the time we have panel things going on, and I like to bring out the best of the panel. We have kind of rules that we have to follow with that, but I love doing this. I adore writing poetry, and my number one favourite thing other than my children and my family is cooking. Oh God, the alchemy of flavour. And we're in the process just now that we've had this technical upgrade, I need to buy 3 cameras for the kitchen. So I don't use this one in the kitchen. I want to keep the really good one for here, but I'm getting 3 other similar ones, slowly but surely. But unfortunately I just had to spend £200 on a new washing machine today, so those cameras will be put to the side probably for about another month. Because I need cables as well. But as soon as we've done that, oh my God, you guys are in for a treat. You will get the love of my kitchen and live streaming cooking at least once a week, because it will be spectacular. And Nyla, I promise you, the burgers, I promise you, we're not doing it until I can live stream, okay? That's how it has to work for me. Right, so that is kind of compassion. So I'm going to go back again for everybody that's just joined. Okay, everybody that has just joined us just now, okay, go and look up Linktree. So it's linktr.ee/Mojax Happy. In that Linktree, in my Linktree, the first link is a an empathy quotient test. It's like a proper psychological test. Okay, I want you to take the time to do this if you wish. It gives you a level of empathy and compassion with the questions that they ask. Okay, I do not want to know your scores until we get to the point in the show where we're going to talk about the scores. Alright, I've also got a little video at the end and a couple of quotes from people that you might think are or are not compassionate as well. Okay, or have these particular things. So that's where let's have a quick look at the chat. Let me bring the chat window over so I can see who is all in. Right, Victoria, hi. Nyla, we've said hello to you. Pickles is in, thank you very much for coming. Alexa, I did see Roberto is there. Now, did somebody say that Barry was in as well? I think that somebody said good evening, Barry. Scrolling back. There's Elaine as well. Elaine Lynn, hello. Thank you for joining us. And I think I've said hello to Alexa. I can never tell. I'll never tell how I get through it all. Right, there we go. Right. Welcome, everybody. And if you have not said hello, please say hello. Okay, we like to interact with you in it. Now, before we continue, let me just ask you a question. Is the sound okay? Can you hear the gentle hum of this shamanistic music? Is it drowning me out? Because I don't want to continue. It seems to be okay. My microphone seems to be loud enough, and the desktop music seems to be alright as well. I can put it up a little bit. It's not even remotely going halfway up my little volume control thing, which is positive. So let me know if you think the sound is okay, which is good. Is that the one there? Right, cool. Pardon. Barry, I love you, man. You're so funny. Thank you, Nyla. See, my other channel manager is honest. Barry's just a love of my life. I love to hate him. Grr. I don't. Anyway, let's move on to humility. Barry, this is for you. Okay, the quality, this is the definition, alright? The quality of having a modest or low view of one's importance. This is humility. A freedom from pride or arrogance. The quality or state of being humble. Humility is the quality of being humble, and the dictionary defines it as accentuate humility as a low self-regard and sense of unworthiness. I don't think that humility is a sense of unworthiness at all. In a religious context, humility can mean a recognition of self in relation to a deity or various other gods, and subsequent submission to the gods as well, or a senior member of that religion. Outside of a religious context is where I'm going with it. Okay, humility is defined as being unselved. Okay, you are unselved. You're liberated from the consciousness of self, a form of temperance. All right, this is quite cool. I quite like humility. You don't have this like haughtiness, this up your own arse sort of thing going on. Okay, and you're not indulging. You're not like putting yourself down. You're not making yourself like, sorry, master, I'm not worthy. You are friggin' worthy. A humble person knows their worth. They know their worth. Okay, and having humility gives you a greater extension of emotions as a whole. All right, so we'll continue on, and we'll look at humble traits. Okay, a humble person is teachable because they want to learn. Humility believes it can always learn from the education and experiences of others, because you are humble before the teacher. As if somebody knows something that you don't, all right, why would you turn around and sort of like act like an arrogant asshole around them? Okay, it would be better just to sit back. Being humble is not sort of like going, teach me, master, teach me. I need to know everything that you know. Tell me, please tell me. It's not about that. It's about being polite. It's about just sitting back and going, oh, I never knew. Somebody that teaches me a lot, okay, is actually Barry. Barry's one of my best friends. You might be sitting there going, what the hell have I taught you? Says, you have taught me a lot of technical things that I would never know. Alright? And I take an interest in some of that. Some of it goes right over the top of my head because my brain is not programmed to understand coding. Okay? But you also get my ideas a lot better than most people, Barry, and you can deliver what I want technically with the businesses in the past and the fun stuff that we do here. Okay? And then we have that common ground where we learn from each other. Okay? So you can mock me, say what you like about this, but I learn from you, and I feel that a lot of the time, you know, I can be humble before you, but I can also be assertive as well and explain things as well. We've got a very good relationship, and I love you, man. Okay, I do. Cheers. I'm going to take some coffee now. So a humble person is teachable. They're a growing person that likes to grow their mind, to grow their abilities to do things. And you can't be, if you're arrogant, if you've got a lofty sense of self, all right, and you consider yourself to be even marginally better than others, how can you learn? Okay, how can you better yourself if you're not humble? Okay, a humble person is also at peace with themselves, and they're at peace with others as well. Okay, sorry, something on my lip there. Humility embraces a contentment and simplicity. You don't want for a lot. You recognise that. I mean, in that sense, I'm not humble because I want a big friggin' house and I want a bigger internet connection and stuff. I want a better camera. That's stuff. Do I want more family? Yeah. Am I emotionally content with the family that I have? Oh my God, yes. I love my mother. I love my dad. I love my stepdad. I loved my grandparents and my godmother. I love and adore my 4 children and my wife, my brother and his family. They're all very, very important to me. Okay, I would have their backs left, right and centre. But, you know, when you think about it, all right, that is a very simple thing to have. A simple thing, a simple feelings to have. And if you're content with that emotional things, your life's alright. Roof over your head, food in the cupboard, you're warm, you're dry, you have the people that you love around you, like I do just now. Is there anything greater than that? I mean, really, is there anything greater than that? You know? Humble person is also very grateful. Okay, humility is not an entitlement. It's not like you're not if you feel that you're entitled to things, you're entitled to be better than people, you're not humble. You're not going to endear yourself to people. People will not want to be around you if you're not humble. Okay, now you might have a manager in your place of work that's a bit of a dick, alright? But are they actually a dick, or are they being a dick because that's their job? They might be the most humble and compassionate person. It's striking that balance between what's necessary for the organisation and their humanity. There's one particularly great manager where I work, and I will not name any names, okay, but he runs a very fast-paced department, and if Robert's watching, you'll know who I'm talking about. He has an ability to bring the best out in his team and to sort of like maintain that status quo with the company policies as well, and I've learned a lot from him. He looks after our e-commerce department, and right now with all the deliveries that are going out, his department is the busiest, with people starting like at ridiculous o'clock in the morning to get all the shopping picked and stuff. It is incredible. A humble person is grateful, yeah. A humble person is slow to offend and quick to forgive. Okay, so these are good traits. I just want to ask everybody just now, okay, if you are listening and you've gone through the compassion and we're halfway through the humility thing just now, do you feel that these things that I'm talking about just now, do you feel that you have some of these traits? Do you feel sometimes it might be difficult to use them? Or is it something that you're perfectly aware of, that you use every day, that you're comfortable within your own soul, your own skin about these things? Just think about it and drop a wee message in, and we'll have a wee look at them in a second. A humble person can also ask for help. They don't have to be completely self-sufficient. It's just me. They can ask for help. Humility is an important thing. If you're in trouble, ask for help. Take that humble approach. It means that your problems might be solved quicker. Asking for help is really, really, really important. It's something I strongly believe in. A humble person treats everybody with respect. Humility also teaches us to believe that we're not better or worse than anybody else. Like I said before, if a teacher teaches, let them teach you. Okay? If you think that the teacher can't teach you, well, that's fine. Then you don't need to be taught. But you're not really being a humble person if they're wanting to teach you something that you don't know. Humble people are patient, very much so, and humility knows that it can make mistakes. And if you make a mistake, humility allows you to ask for forgiveness. And if you've asked for forgiveness from making a mistake, unless you have genuinely hurt somebody, with my little caveat clauses, we'll come back to those in a second again, then I would say forgiveness is a positive thing. Okay, if you've hurt somebody, or done something stupid to children or animals, or endangered somebody through decisions without their consent, you're a bigot, you don't like the life choices of people's sexual choices in life, well then, piss off. Okay, I don't have time for you, and I won't forgive you. That is where my humility stops. If you are going to tread all over people's rights, tread all over people's life choices, and take away their ability to consent to things, then you are just not a proper human being. Okay? That's how I feel about you, and I will debate and have a discussion with anybody that thinks that I'm wrong about that, because the moment that you take away somebody's ability to withhold consent or give consent, is you are enslaving them. There's so many people, good people in this world, that do things for nothing. Two of them have a little blue things in the chat just now, Barry and Nyla. Okay, Barry and I are good friends, we do stuff, and I asked Nyla to kind of help because I didn't really know how to do this sort of stuff that she does. She's a great eye on the community, and she's a focal point and everything like that, and I really appreciate her. Okay, and they give up their time, to come and help just a little bit from time to time. And Barry, does a lot for me technical wise, and they do this for nothing. And I need you guys to know, I'm looking at the chat as if I'm looking at you, and the chat window's slightly off in that direction. I need you to know that I think that you're wonderful people. The guys that are watching it, you're incredible people for just giving up your time to come and watch me ramble. But these two people, they help in the back room. And the backroom stuff that they do is wonderful, and I really do want to give you both big hugs sometime. Barry would be like, no, I don't want a hug. Nyla, I know that you would appreciate a hug, so you can give a digital hug just now. So this is me being humble amongst my two very good people that help with the community. And we've all had struggles in life, and we've had talks about, I know Barry's past very well. I'm learning about the incredible life that Nyla's led as well. And they're fascinating people, and they deserve good time, they deserve respect, and they deserve what I've learned from them is great. And I hope to God that I've never, with the exception of Barry, I've never upset you, because I like to upset Barry all the time, okay, just by doing things like this, because he can't answer back tonight, he can only chat. Wait now, I better be nice to him, because he's actually got a little spanner against his name. I forgot he's a channel manager here. He can do all sorts of shit to me on the stream. Well, he can't really, but he can. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the chat before we continue on with this. A nice little break. You're welcome, very much so, Nyla. Very much welcome. Brian Adams, mode engaged. Everything I do for you. Thanks, Barry. I like that. All the love. Yeah, you know what? Tonight is about compassion, humility, and empathy. It's all about the love. It is all about the love. I hope you guys have been across to the link tree and have got the empathy quotient test up and are doing it. Okay, if you've not done it, okay, go and do it, because we will be getting to that stage in the show very soon, and we're going to be talking about it. So, yeah, it's worthwhile. I think it's it might be like 50 or 60 questions, or it might be 80 questions, I can't remember, but it's 10 minutes worth of work, and it's an eye-opener from the way that you've kind of answered them. It's four little things. Strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. 2 statements. So Linktree, okay, Linktree. That's where you want to go. Is that the actual one, Nyla, that you're putting up there? Is that the one that was in my Linktree? I hope so, because it's a good one. It is good. Let's continue with this. Are we feeling good? That's what I want to do. We feel good.
I'm feeling good now.
I'm glad you're feeling good now. It's important. It's important that you're feeling good. Okay? Excellent. Right, a humble person recognises their own limitations as well. Humility doesn't have a negative view of self. Okay? It has an accurate view of yourself. So if you know what you can do and know what you can't do, alright, it means that you can do what's necessary, alright, to better yourself, to learn new skills, or to transfer those skills on to other people as well. A humble person also celebrates the accomplishments of others. So it's important, like from a manager's point of view, okay, from a manager's point of view, at work, to celebrate the success within the corporate sort of section or the retail, whatever you're working as, right? Okay, it's important that you do that. Oh, somebody says, Barry, that was lovely. Hold on a second. Barry's not lovely. Hold on. I code bots, I build websites, and we can make videos and Discord servers, but you lot make... I've got to Barry. Barry is sharing the love tonight. He's going to be going, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going back to playing World of Warcraft. Where's my orc? You know, I love you, man. You're a good lad. A humble person celebrates the accomplishments of others. They do. It's not about you all the time, guys. It's really not about what you do. It's about what other guys do to help you, what other guys do maybe not to help you, but just their successes as a whole. Yeah, it's good. It's good. They're good at keeping relationships as well. People that are humble, they retain the relationships better than a lot of other people, because they're not trying to get one over on their partner. You know what? You hear there's this thing, right, in the world where husbands and wives, they take the piss out of each other, and I hear that at work all the time. You know, they're talking about, oh, my husband, oh, my wife, oh, this, that, and another. And I'm like, I can't do that. But I know that there's people, again, that I know that I care about deeply, that are deeply in love with their wife, deeply in love with their husband, but they mock them. But they're a team, and that banter is not a bad thing. and these people are actually exceptionally humble as well. All right, they might not see it, and they're so comfortable with their partners that they can talk about anything, and it's a wonderful thing. And I'm not going to embarrass any of my friends that might be watching this elsewhere or watch it back later and name names, but you know that there's people out there whose relationships with their partners that I truly admire, okay, better than most people's, because you're an example, absolute example to what a good relationship should be. And I see you as having exceptional humility in it's a two-way street. You're with your wife and your husband and your wife. That humility thing, going backwards and forwards, is a very good thing. At the same time as well, okay, there has to be a bit of compassion, a bit of empathy, and a bit of being able to stand up for yourself as well. But humility allows you to do that, and so does compassion allows you to stand up for yourself in a non-offensive way. So these things are all intertwined into being a whole person, which is really, really important. They make difficult decisions with ease. Again, this goes back to being compassionate. This is one of the similar sort of things with compassion and humility, and as well as putting other people first. Humility and compassion are very similar in that sense. Humble people are curious, they like to speak their minds, and they also take the time to say thank you, going back to that wonderful, well-mannered thing as well. They accept feedback, the good positive feedback, feedback which is one of those amazing things which allows people to understand the mistakes they've made or the successes that they've actually done. And I'm a great person. I believe in feedback in a great way. Some people just don't take feedback at all. How can you grow as a person? How can you grow as a person if you don't accept, how you've interacted with somebody? Think about it. If somebody's upset you and you say to them, "You've upset me," and they don't give a shit, they're not taking your feedback. If somebody said, if you've done something really good for somebody and they say, "God, I really appreciate that, you did wonderful things there," you kind of feel warm and good because you've been recognised for doing something that's nice. I sometimes just shrug that off as like, "Oh, shit, not interested in that." It's crazy. It's crazy. I have never seen so many emoji hearts on my chat ever. You guys, are you feeling the love tonight? Do I have a feel love thing going on here? We have a wow.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, baby. And we have this one.
You make me feel so good.
Oh yeah, you do. And I do like this one.
I'm feeling good now.
There's another feel good one. I think this is a sort of a horny voice as well. Hold on.
I feel good now.
I feel good now. That's not a horny voice.
I feel good now.
Yes, that's good. But I like this one the best.
I'm feeling good now.
I hope you can hear those. I really do. Anyway, let us shift on. What's that saying? Good. Right. Okay. Right. Humility is kind of the true key to success. Successful people lose their way at times, and they often embrace or overindulge from the fruits of success. Humility halts this arrogance and self-indulging trap. Humble people share the credit and the wealth, remaining focused and hungry to continue the journey of success. That is a quote from a gentleman called Rick Pitino, which is good. Right, we are 2/3 of the way through our journey through compassion, etc., to empathy. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the chat, see what you're all saying. Preach, Mo. Yeah, I can't help it. It's hard, but This is great. I'm going to, honest to God, the hearts mean so much to me when you guys are sharing the love, which is amazing. Just scrolling back. My husband and I razz each other all the time. I love him more than the universe, though. Listen, razzing each other is fine, okay? It's just it's a very positive thing. It's Barry's putting the that thing up there because there's been too many hearts. He's feeling a bit sick from it all now. But there you go. Right. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say to you guys, make sure that, because when we get to the end of empathy, we're going to talk about the quotient. Make sure you've done the test. It takes 5 minutes. We're now going to hit empathy, my favourite subject in the world. Okay, there was somebody that mentioned, you know who you are, that mentioned when I talked about empathy before, that it's like an inherent sort of like, it's a genetic, it's like a gift from the universe to be able to feel things. And I absolutely agree with that. I thought that it's something that can be taught as well. Okay, but it's mostly an innate ability to understand and put yourself in the position of other people's feelings. You can actually feel their feelings, is what this particular lady was talking about. My experience is, yes, absolutely, that there would have been some sort of traits there prior to me honing and sharpening this skill. And it was sharpened and honed for me when I was a corporate school teacher, when I was teaching adults. I'd have 30 adults in a classroom for 4 weeks at a time, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, teaching them communication skills, the package skills necessary to operate the computer systems within the organisation I worked within. Okay, and as you can imagine, adults are actually the worst people in the world to teach. Okay, they're shit. They have bigger egos than children. Children you can just look at with the silent eyes, and they've got a tendency to stop what they're doing unless they're maniacs. Alright? Adults don't care. They're beyond most things. So to be able to train and teach adults is something that's a bit difficult sometimes. So to have an empathy, to understand this is where the behaviouralisms of empathy came in with me, the mechanics of it, rather than just the touchy feeling things. It's a lot to do with the micro expressions as well, to understand what they're feeling, the little things of when somebody's looking in a certain direction, their lip curling in one way, their head tilting slightly, their eyebrows moving in a certain way, the way they touch their face, the words that they use, all encompasses an understanding of empathy. Alright, it's not just the silent feelings that you have. Okay, it's those things. It's an understanding of how people feel, and to understand how they feel, there's an actual physical thing that you can look at, and it is that person, and your subconscious will take on their feelings from how they're reacting to things, the words they use, their everything. Okay, and also just their feelings if you are empathic. Alright, it's an incredible thing. And like I say, my skills were honed in the classroom, because having 30 people in a classroom, I had to make sure that they had the skills to do their job, that they left my classroom after 4 weeks with the ability to go into the job role that they were going into in that organisation and succeed. That was really important. So I had to learn very quickly all the different training styles, how the learning styles of these people within 3 or 4 days. So the first 2 to 3 days was a lot of team exercises, a lot of me getting to know them getting to know me. And it worked really well. And I soon found that I had a bit of a gift to be able to do things. And a lot of people said here that I have a hypnotic tone that kind of might lull people to sleep sometimes and make them feel relaxed and stuff. You won't have been the first people to have said that to me, and I'm not saying this to say, hey, look at me, I'm not being humble. I'm saying this because I recognise this, and I've never thought of it as a skill before. But I had not people falling asleep in the classroom when I'm speaking because they were boring. Just before Barry says something about me being boring, yes, okay, it'll come. But the people would be sitting there and they'd be like, look as if they were jaded in a dream sort of thing, and I'd be like, are you awake? Are you okay? Yes. Are you taking everything in, what I'm saying? Yes. What was the last thing I said? You talked about the billing techniques of when people upgrade their cable television and how pro rata billing operates. I'm like, oh my god, you're right. Did you understand it? Yes, I understand it. It's just that your voice is so hypnotic. I take it all in. And it was frightening to think that I was doing that to people. But at the same time, my empathy, would hone in and be able to do other things. Anyway, let's talk about empathy. The term empathy is used to describe a wide range of experiences. This is straight out of Wikipedia again. Okay, emotion researchers generally define empathy as the ability to sense other people's emotions, coupled with the ability to imagine what someone else might be thinking or feeling. Yes, Barry, thank you for the zzz. Wake up, Barry, wake up, my friend. Contemporary researchers often differentiate between two types of empathy. Affective empathy, which refers to the situations and feelings we get in response. What's this? Oh, it's my son, right? You're going to sleep now. Okay, good night. Good night, my boy. I don't have anything that says good night on the stream. I'll have to make one of those things up. Affective empathy refers to the sensations and feelings we get in response to others' emotions. This can include mirroring what that person is feeling, or just feeling stressed when we detect another's fear or anxiety. Then there's cognitive empathy, which is sometimes called perspective taking, refers to our ability to identify and understand other people's emotions, understand them. Okay, so that's kind of the two sort of clinical ways of thinking about it. We'll go into the sort of like the traits about empaths in a second. What they're talking about there with the second one's a thing called rapport, and I used to teach in my classroom as well. I used to teach what rapport actually is, and that is when you're kind of in sync with somebody, using the same sort of language, the same body language as well. And I used to do an exercise where I used to send one person out of the classroom. I would pick two people that had formed quite a good friendship over the first 3 or 4 days. Okay, and it would be an exercise we would do at the very last day of the first week, this rapport building. And I would send one of the two people out of the classroom. Okay, and I would tell the other person what was going to be going on and explain to them what they had to do. And when they came back in, okay, they were going to be sitting back to back. Now, I didn't tell them that this was an exercise in rapport, okay? And basically the person that had remained in the classroom was going to have a conversation about things that they knew about the other person. Okay, nothing personal or deeply crazy, but just, fun things that they would be comfortable speaking about. And I said to the person who was out of the classroom, says that you're going to have a conversation, just relax and just have the conversation. Okay, it's nothing special. And they'll be sitting back to back on chairs, not touching, just, that's their backs, just like that. And they would start to speak, and they would end up sort of like laughing at the same time. They would end up using similar language. And the crazy thing is, after about 5 minutes, they would cross their legs at the same time. They would touch their faces at the same time, because psychologically and emotionally they were in rapport. And we created that in the classroom with every single class that I did. Okay, and that rapport is a beautiful thing because it shows a great empathy for your fellow man, and you have a greater empathy for the people that you are closer to, whether it can be being angry with them, being sympathetic, not sympathetic, that's the wrong word to use. You're feeling the sorrow that they feel, the pain that they feel. It's an incredible thing. Let's take some more coffee. Empaths are naturally giving, spiritually open, and exceptionally good listeners. If you want heart to heart, empaths will give you the best heart-to-heart conversations ever. Through thick and thin, these world-class nurturers will be there for you, but they can easily have their feelings hurt too. We are we're like peaches, we can bruise very easily, and some people say that we're too sensitive and we need to toughen up. I don't think so. I think that the bruising heals quite quickly in these things. We have a tendency to absorb other people's emotions as well. I get emotional when I watch television shows sometimes. Anybody get that? They'll be watching something. What's a really good one? That one when they move the bus. I can't remember what it's called. Move that bus. I cry all the friggin' time. When people see the house that's been built for them, it's like, holy shit, I'm a sap. I'm a big ass sap. I cried when Obi-Wan cut the legs off Anakin Skywalker. I did. I'd waited 20 years for that battle, and I cried because I felt Obi-Wan's pain. I did. Yes, I felt the pain of the country as well when they looked on in horror as Dominic Cumming gaslighted us all. Yes, I felt the pain of the country. It was awful. Terrible. Anyway, empaths are also highly intuitive. We seem to understand and experience the world through intuition. I wish that was true for me. I don't consider myself to be very intuitive. Maybe I am maybe I'm about the right things and I'm not about the wrong things. I kind of think I'm intuitive about my children and my family, but I don't know. We need alone time. I enjoy my own company. I do that. My wife enjoys her own company. She's quite she's quite empathic as well. She doesn't think she is, but I know she is, because she can look at me and she goes, "Are you okay?" And she knows if there's something wrong. Maybe that's because she knows me better than most. As super responders, empaths find being around people can be draining, so having a bit of time to themselves to recharge is a very good thing. Where empaths are also targets for energy vampires. Those lovely toxic people like to suck the fun out of life. An empath's sensitivity makes them particularly easy marks for energy vampires whose fear or rage can sap up their energy and their peace of mind. These vampires may do more than drain the empath's physical energy. This is from a great article. Especially dangerous ones such as narcissists. My favourite type of toxic people. Narcissists. I love playing with narcissists. They're great fun. I will tell you and teach you all how to play with narcissists sometimes. It's not funny, but it is funny. It's quite toxic doing it in its own right, but it's hilarious. Anyway, narcissists lack empathy, by the way. Completely the exact opposite of empathic people. They don't give a shit, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, narcissists can actually make empaths feel unwanted or unloved as well. That's kind of the thing that I was going with that. They become replenished in nature. This is how I recharged my mental illness batteries. I came off my medication and started to nurture my mind in the green of nature, where the air was fresh and the sounds were not urban. And it is very, very true. I still feel the need to be surrounded by trees and running water frequently, and because of lockdown I cannot do it. It's impossible for me. I'm not allowed to go and do that. I have had one sneaky walk to the Water Leith, which is the river that runs like 5 minutes walk from my house. One one walk there. As soon as we're allowed to be let go and we're allowed to go and do that, I swear to God, okay, I will make videos of this wonderful place in the summer for you, which is amazing. What's that? Pop filters are my friend. I don't get, what have I done? Energy vampires, pop filters. I don't know what that means, Barry. I don't know what that means. Send me a message. WhatsApp me. Okay, pop filters. Okay, empaths have huge hearts but sometimes give too much. Yes, we do. They've got a tendency to give out a little bit more than themselves. They tend to like to talk a lot as well as listen a lot as well. And at the end of the day, an empathic person, right, is probably going to give a lot more out. Okay, but they do get a lot out of that as well by giving more of themselves over to people. They have that connection, that subconscious connection that they truly want to have with their fellow man. People that are we have talked quite openly about compassion, humility and empathy. The most important thing to me is empathy. You can't have empathy without humility and compassion. Alright? It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. So if you feel that you have compassion and humility, the chances are you have an empathy for your fellow man. You might not use it or feel it as much as certain other people do, but you will have it, and it is there, and everybody has it in some way or another. You have felt the pain of other people. You may have been at a funeral where you didn't have a connection with maybe the person that passed, but you have a connection with the people that are there, and you feel their sorrow and their pain, and then you feel the release of, now that part of their life's over, they can move on to another part. You've felt the ecstaticness of a child being born into your friend's family. It's all there. It is all there, you know. It's kind of really important that you understand this. Okay, I'm going to ask you now, alright, to if you wish, and you can say no, I don't want to, I want you to post your results in the chat. Okay, I will openly say just now that out of 80, I got 67 out of 80, and the higher the number, the more in tune with your fellow human beings you actually are. Okay, so if you've got a very low score and you don't want us to know that you're a psychopath, don't bother putting it up. And I'm only joking, you're not a psychopath. But it's one of those things. If you've not done it, don't worry, you can do it as we speak and go through the next part, because I want to point out as well. Okay, ooh, 100%, well done, Victoria. 67, yes, well done. Uncommon there, score of 35 out of a possible 80. That is weird, isn't it, Nyla? 67, incredible. 60 out of 80. This is interesting. It's interesting seeing these pop up just now. Wow. Oh, the test. Yeah. On the test. That's good. No, it's interesting. It's interesting. Do you know something? Lower numbers don't necessarily mean that you're crazy or you're deficient in anything at all. Okay, what it means is that the questions that were asked are not tuned to your way of dealing with human beings. Okay, I bet you if the questions were worded differently, people would have different scores. But it's don't ever think that it's a bad thing. It's purely out of interest, because I wanted you to try and get as much of that test done before we got to the end, because it would be interesting next Wednesday to do the same test again and see where your results were again. Okay? So we've talked about compassion, humility and empathy. Alright? I did have a whole section where I could talk about the different things that that show a kind of a negative response to things, but I don't think that I want to go there, because I think that this has been very, very strongly look at the good side of our behaviours, and I would say use them to understand your fellow man. My biggest thing is I do like to talk, but I also like to listen. I like to read. I like to see what you guys are saying there. I like that interaction. I love that humanity that we have. And I am that brick wall when there is conflict, but I will stop the conflict as quickly as I can. I don't like it. I find it unnecessary. I am 49 this year. I have embraced and destroyed cancer at its most dangerous level in my life, inside my body. Okay, I keep myself reasonably fit and I eat perfectly well. I love my children, I love my wife. I have a very, very stable emotional mindset. Okay, I am quite a pragmatist in the sense of what we've discussed here tonight. Okay, and I think that it's very important that if you can take any of this forward in your life and do positive and good things for yourself with them, it will then ripple out to the people that you love about that, which is good. I do have a couple of quotes and then a video to show you, which is quite important. Let me just find where is the quotes. I think that's in the first one. First one is by a lady called Shannon L. Alder, who's a bit of an author that does lots of self-help quotey things. Okay, and this is when I looked through her stuff, this was one of the most important and poignant ones. Being kind to someone only to look kind to others defeats the purpose of being kind. Do it and mean it, and don't expect a pat on the back. That's what that means to me. If you're going to do it right. Do it honestly, do it sincerely. But if you're doing it for kudos or for your own ego, you're a twat. First rate fucking idiot. Excuse my language, but I get upset with that. There is also another great quote. It's not a great quote, but it's a quote nonetheless, which you'll be thinking, why has he put that quote in here? Because it's kind of important with what's going on just now. Okay, it goes, nowadays there really is no primary poverty left in this country. In Western countries we are left with the problems which aren't poverty. Alright, there may be poverty because people don't know how to budget, don't know how to spend their earnings, but now you are left with the really hard fundamental character of personality defect. These are cruel, cruel words, by the way, and they were from a very cruel woman from the past in Great Britain. That was said by Margaret Thatcher, and it's a quote from her own book called In Her Own Words. Okay, now, to me, that shows somebody that doesn't have humility, doesn't have compassion, and certainly has no empathy. And this person was leading the country. How many more people are leading the country that are like that? You know, that's what you've got to look at. Right, okay, let me quickly bring down the lovely Native American music to a grand wee halty. Just make sure, yes, that is working, that is good. And I'm going to play this video to you. I need to make sure the sound's up for this a little bit more. Where is the sound? The sound is there. And we will put the sound up on that bit as well to there. Good. So we're all prepared. Now this video it's only 2 minutes long, all right, but it kind of gathers exactly what we've been talking about tonight, about human beings, and I quite liked it for that sense. So let me just bring it up and put it over, and here we go.
The term human is more than just a designation of a species. Unlike how being a Bos taurus implies cowness, or being a Phoenicopterus roseus implies flamingo-ness, being a Homo sapiens doesn't imply humanness. No, being human is something more than that. So, what is this humanness? Well, it's a function of what I call your circle of compassion. The circle of compassion is simply the range of people that you care about. For something like a tree, something incapable of complex thought, that only extends to the tree itself. As complexity increases, the range also increases. A duck cares not just for itself, but also for its offspring. An elephant might care for itself, its offspring, and the other elephants in its herd, maybe even all of the elephants it's ever met. But humans, well, humans are something special. Humans have the ability to expand their circle of compassion to encompass not just their children, not just the people they know, but all of humankind. And we don't stop there. We have the capacity to care about all of the creatures on our planet, present and future. To be human, to have humanity, is to have an infinite circle of compassion. And yet, all of us are guilty of transgressing that circle through acts of hatred or violence, whether deliberate or accidental. Every time we shun another human, our circle of compassion shrinks a little bit. When we destroy our environment or neglect our neighbors, we become a little bit less human. That's why human is more than just a species designation. It's a goal, it's a virtue, but most of all, it's a responsibility to ourselves, to our planet, and to each other.
There you go. It is a responsibility. Oh my god, I'm really loud. I need to turn my volume down in my ear. Yeah. When you look at the grand scheme of things, it's we are human beings. We are in it together. We are here for the long haul, and we need to look after ourselves and our entire planet. Okay? It's very important. Do you want that link for the video? Is that what you're asking? Hold on a second. Can't see my keyboard, it's too dark here. Hold on. Ding dong. Here's the link. Boom. Here you go. Is that what you wanted? That is the video link I just put in there as well. Okay. It's very important. I'm a great believer in people, and I feel that nobody's beyond forgiveness, but they have to learn as well. Listen, there are people in this world that will grind you down. Choose not to allow them to grind you down. Be that brick wall, be that stoic person with humility and compassion, that empathy to understand that they are the ones being dicks. You're not. Okay? That is the gracious thing about humanity. If you forgive them, and you can keep forgiving them, and that is your choice to do that. Okay? But eventually, if that person doesn't show humility and change, they're not showing that humanity. They're not showing that at all. Alright? That is just my word of warning to the world. There are assholes in this world. Okay? Let's put that shamanic music back on, shall we? I quite like that. Yeah, so we are done. We are done for the night. I hope you all enjoyed that. Let's see, did we enjoy that? Let's see, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And did you all feel good about this tonight, yeah?
Good now.
You feel good now? Yeah, I hope so.
I feel good now.
Good, good, good.
You make me feel so good.
I'm happy that I make you feel good. And listen, do you feel prepared? Yeah?
Do not be afraid.
Yeah, good. Don't be afraid. I've had great fun, by the way, making all these jingles up. So I want to say a big thanks to everybody for coming here tonight. What was that?
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. But I think, yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore about empathy. I'm a bit emotionally drained about talking about it all. But what I will say is that we have a week on Friday. We have a live tarot card reading. We have this lovely lady coming on to talk about her skills with the card, her gift that she has been given to deal with the cards, and she's going to do a live reading on the show with me. Isn't that amazing? I am so excited. I am so damn excited about that. You have no idea. And I'm going to arrange as well for our DJ friend Mr. Bones to come back on, because on the 24th of this month it's my birthday, and I think that's a Tuesday. Hold on a second, it might be a Wednesday. Let me just check the old calendarios. June, it's a Wednesday. So the human condition 2 weeks today will be my birthday, so we're going to have to do something good. And I thought it might be fun to do a Zoom thing, like have a Zoom party with Mr. Bones. I'll ask him if he'll do a set for us. So if you're up for that, if you're part of Discord, go to the Radio Apocalypse channel and drop your suggestions in for 2 weeks today, okay? And we're going to do that, okay? We will talk about what to do for that. I think it would be great fun to have as many people in Zoom for the party as possible. I don't know how Zoom works. My daughter does. She'll teach me how to use it. We'll get Mr. Bones on. I've had somebody else that's like a DJ follow me today on Instagram. I'm going to get in contact with her as well, because her and Bones are friends. So I just want a little bit more music on. And listen, if any of you guys know any musicians, artists, comedians, or anything like that, Friday night is the open mic night. It's a week, not this Friday coming, but a week on Friday we have the lovely lady doing the tarot reading. But I'm all for anybody coming on, DJing, doing a bit of comedy, reading their poetry, their works, their stories, playing an instrument, anything they want. That's what open mic night's about. Okay, that's what it's about. Tomorrow night it is Covid Chronicles. We'll be talking a little bit about what's going on in the UK and around the world with the virus and the relaxing of lockdown a bit. And then we're back in the morning for the shows as well, the early morning show. So exciting. Right, let's have a look at the chat before we go. I can actually have to make that bigger because my eyes are tired. Come on, wake up. There we go. Now we can read it better. Great. Okay, wake up, computer. There we go. Excellent. Oh, I've done that far too big now. Oops. Okay, excellent. Right. Ah, amazing. Equilibrium, there's nothing wrong with caring about others, but you are right, you do need to focus on yourself sometimes, and that's not a selfish thing. If you're not physically and mentally prepared to help other people, what help can you actually be to them? You know, this is one of the reasons that I try my best to look after myself. Maybe it's a subconscious thing that it's all about. Is Victoria away? You will later. Oh, you're still there. I'm just scrolling up, seeing what people are saying. This is good. Listen, I really appreciate all you guys coming here. Nyla says being empathic is exhausting, but it gives you great heart and a great capacity for love. See, there's this other amazing thing about love, all right, and about unity and there was a great TED talk about it, about the ability to feel vulnerability and accept that. It's called being wholehearted. So many people who have their hearts broken never truly love again. You know that? They might always feel a bit of resentment or mistrust of the next person, but the people that give their hearts openly and freely again seem to live a more complete life. And I never thought that I would ever fall in love after the children's mum and I separated, but then I met my wife, and I truly now know what love is in a different sense, completely a different level. It's like a fierce, feral, beautiful, simple, complicated, incredible, passionate, again simple, but it's like I can be on my own and love her the same way as I'm sitting beside her on a bus or driving her somewhere in the car or watching her interact with our baby, and I know that I've given my heart to the right woman. Okay, but I've loved before, and I was willing to give my heart again. And so many people miss out on that, and you shouldn't. You should never ever lose on the ability to love somebody. It's very important. It's very important. Pickle's got 67 as well. I got 67 too, and so did Nyla. Interesting. Right. We're done for the night. What time is it? My God, I've been on for an hour and 35 minutes. It's been a busy night. I don't want to leave you guys. I feel kind of a bit of an emotional attachment going on here just now, so I might ramble for another few minutes if that's okay. I don't know what about. As also this music is kind of focusing me to talk crap to you more than usual. Right, no, I'm gonna go. Let's stop that wonderful music just now, because we need to play the outro. So Friday night is just open mic night. Anybody that wants to come on, any suggestions for topics you want us to discuss, shove it in the Radio Apocalypse channel on Discord. Open to anything you want us to discuss at all. I've got a few things I want to chat about. Barry will have a few things to chat about. Jason, and if we can get Cognac on as well. Anybody that wants to come on the show, come on the show. Watch party weekend this weekend is Fallen with Denzel Washington. Do I have that picture? No, I will get the picture just now though. Hold on a second. It's going to be it's a great film. If you've not actually had a chance to see it, I would highly recommend it. It is a brilliant psychological thrillery horror-y thing. Come on, just come on. We want you to say complete. There we go. Excellent. And now we can just shove that right over this one here. Hold on a second. Yes, there we go. And the picture's ready, and we can put it over here. Great. So yeah, Fallen is you're going to enjoy it. It's definitely one of those ones where you sort of look at it and go, that's got a bit of a twist in it. It is very, very good, and there's a bit of music in it that will stick in your head as well. I'm not going to give nothing away because I highly recommend it. I've had a couple of suggestions from my kids as well about doing Stranger Things as a watch party weekend, but I think we actually need to be doing Stranger Things over a 3-week period. So if you're willing, maybe even a month-long period, because it's like 3 seasons of it, and I think it's important that we all watch it. So if you fancy doing Stranger Things in a month's time, let me know as well, and we'll get that set up and we'll start advertising that as well. But Fallen is great for this weekend, and then we're just open for suggestions for the following week as well. Alright, good times. Yeah. let us, oh, what have I done wrong here? It shouldn't be like that. I should be on that camera and coming up there. Yes, there we go. And that's me across now. Superb. Yes. Right, I'm just queuing up the outro now. Where is my outro gone? There it is there. And we need to get rid of... Where's the camera? I shouldn't be on the camera for that. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so we are off ski. We will see you in the morning if you care to join us. And I'll look forward to it all. And have a really, really good, safe evening wherever you are. Take care.
I hope you've been enjoying Mojax Happy's Radio Apocalypse.